Now, in this video, we are going to talk about your IELTS academic reading task. Now, from the test format, if you look at, we're talking about this element. Okay, so it has three sections. It has 40 items. Items here are questions, and then the total lifetime limit you get is 60 minutes. This particular task will be conducted just after your listening test. Remember, in your complete IELTS test, in one sitting, they won't get no breaks from their side, from the examiner's point of view. If you want to take a break or a quick visit to the loo, you just have to bear it. You just have to go it on the expenses of your own time. So that is to be careful of. Now, academic reading, right? Um, for a few people, we can say that like for general training element, for a lot many people they go for general training as well. So there is not a major difference between academic reading and general training reading, as the marking criteria is different in general training and the criteria for academic is different. However, if you talk about the difficulty level, with the aspect of difficulty level, this both criteria they match. So for academic reading it is a tough area, and for general training reading it is not so tough area, but yes, the marking is difficult. So one more or less the skills are required for solving a particular test are same, and the marking differs. So it comes out to be all in all same. So even a person who is appearing for general training reading IELTS, he can also look at this video. It is not a big thing, right? So let's look at the task. Now when you look at the task, you see this for a pen and paper test, you will get it printed in the like a booklet form. If you're going for an online or a computer-based test, you can have it on the screen, so you can interchangeably use your screen properly. You can have things sorted for you in a computer-based test. Also, it won't be difficult, right? Now, if you begin with the reading task, well, you have to look at, right, the first thing you should look at the time limit. As I mentioned earlier, time limit is 60 minutes. They may say 60 minutes, but the thing is you should not prime your mind with 60 minutes. The first and the most important instruction here is your time. Now if you believe that you can do this test in 50 minutes, or let's say 55 minutes, it will be a good thing for you, because it will allow you to cross check your answers at the end. So that is one thing. The answer sheets will be given to you to transfer your answers straight away. You will not be allowed any extra time to transfer your answers. So be careful of time limit. And again, time limit is a big element, because once you begin with the test, your energy is quite high. Once you move to the third section or the second section, the energy level comes down, or the concentration level, or the ability to do questions or solve questions quickly can make it reduced, right? So be careful of your time. Now the second thing is the instructions, right? Instructions in the reading task play a great role, right? So if you want to have a look, you can have a look here. Let's say what it says here: do the following statements agree with the information given in the reading passage, right? So this is the instruction here. They are simplified under the umbrella of true, false, not given, where you have, if the statement agrees with the information, it is true. If it is contradictory, it is false. If it is not find, like if you cannot find it, it is not given. So what it means is, you see, you just have to match the information with the given passage. You should not imply your own mind in assuming things, or you should not select your answer on the basis of assumptions. So that is what one information here you get with the instruction. We will discuss this instruction under true, false, not given, or for this particular question under the category of formats or types of formats of question. That will be our fifth element. The first one is your time, the second one is the instruction, and this is what we are discussing. Now if you look at the instruction here, choose one word only. So why I took this point here is, not many students, they tend to forget the word limit while solving the test. So in rush, in time pressure, in all this nervousness of the exam, they may forget the instruction. So you got to be careful of using one word answer only, right? There are certain words which are compound nouns, so they can be used together at times, but you got to be careful. That is what I'm trying to say. If you look at here, one word and or a number. So for in this case, your answer can be one word, your answer can be just a number, and it could also be one word and a number. So both Two entities can also be your answer. So it is just a matter of precaution. So that is why I'm discussing this element. Likewise, you may get other instructions you got to be careful of. Let's say you have to select, you have to write correct number here, right? Not just the alphabets. So it sometimes you may get distracted, and instead of numbers you may write something else. So that you need to be careful of. And at times you may have to write alphabets. Let's see here. So when they say you got to write alphabets, you will write alphabets as the answer, like in the case of MCQs. So you got to be careful. At time, people they may just write the whole answer instead of the alphabet. So it is just a precautionary thing. And you may also get at times instructions suggesting to note down something. So in that case, you may have to repeat your answers also. That is why you got to be careful. Let's see if we can have it somewhere here. Oh, it's not here. But anyway, at times it says NB, nota bene, right? So nota bene meaning you can repeat your answers. Let's say, for example, for this particular question, where you have to select paragraph alphabets A, B, C like that. So maybe you might repeat alphabets, or you might repeat these Roman numbers also, right? For example, let's say if it says by chance, or if you get in this paper that yeah, you note that you may use these headings more than once. So in that case you have to you can repeat the answers as well, right? So that is the role of instruction. The third the most important thing is the style, the way you proceed with the things. You may not call it strategy, because I'm going to take strategy in the fourth point. So the style, the way people follow is, they may they may like to highlight certain information. They may like to underline certain information. Let's say if you want to underline this name of the states or the country. Some people may like to encircle things which they find difficult, or vocabulary. So they may use left margin, they may use encircling, highlighting, they may use divisions of dividing the paragraphs. So they may have their own style of doing it. So yes, this can also be implied, because whatever you may find useful for yourself, you can use that. There's nothing wrong in it. You've got to explore whatever helps you out, right? So that is the design, the structure, the way you follow it. Okay. Some people may like to jump onto the passage which they are already familiar of. Let's say Steph Wells. We know this Bowery thing, so it is familiar to people in India. Let's say. So if any Indian is, I mean, if any student is there who is, is familiar with this task, he may would like to proceed with this task. Suppose if there are people who are familiar with the section 2, let's say this one, European transport systems. So he would be starting with this, or beginning with this paragraph or the passage. And then there is the other one is psychology of innovation. So whatever, like the strategy you want to use or the method you want to imply, you can use, right? This is just, I just call it design, because the way you want to start doing it, it is your own way of doing it. Okay. Now the fourth thing, which I consider is the point where which allowed me to prepare this video, is this strategy. Now strategy, when I say, it involves all the points, like types of questions you get, or formats of questions you get, the instructions, the time limit, and everything. So what strategy you should apply here? Suppose if you begin with this paragraph, I would say that I would come up to two strategies, or maybe, yeah. So you see this step Wells passage, and here you do not have any demarcations or any labeling of the paragraphs. These are like all descriptive information, all abstract information you have here. So for me, the strategy one would be to read the whole passage first, instead of jumping onto the question straight away, right? Now this is very important for me suggesting you this, because I have practiced myself that way. Right. So when you will do that, if you're an avid reader, it is easy for you to get around 11 to 12 answers correct out of total 13 questions based on this passage. Not for a lot many people, it might not sound good, or they might not appreciate this, but yes, it when you're practicing it, when you know that you have 40 days, 30 days time limit, you should read the whole passage first and then jump onto the questions, specifically when the passage is not divided into sections, right? Now, what it will allow you, see, the whole thing is you're just doing two things in the reading test. You're just finding the answer, that is locating the answer, and you're justifying the answers. Once you've located the answer, you're trying to justify and confirm it. Okay, so when you read it, you have the whole piece of information in your mind. You know in your brain that yeah, you have things ready with you. So for questions like these, false, true, false, not given, for questions like one word answer, you will at least know where to locate the answer. So it will save your time for locating the answer. Then it will turn out easy. Then you just have to justify the answer. This is your strategy one. Now strategy one would not sound good for questions like these or the passage like these, right? Or let me just get back to the passage one once. For the strategy one, you should also be careful whether what time are you taking. Suppose in reading this passage, if you're taking around let's say 10 to 12 minutes, I think it is an average for an average student. If you're taking 10 to 12 minutes, it is all right, because still in 8 minutes you can solve remaining 13 questions. Because I'm saying for 10 total 20 minutes, because you will get total complete 60 minutes. It is up to you how you divide your time. But if you go about this instruction, so accordingly, if you're taking 10 to 12 minutes, you'll have 8 minutes to devote to your questions. If suppose you can easily do it in 5 to 7 minutes or 7 to 10 minutes, right? Or 7 to 10 minutes, then you are there for a 7 band score, or for a 7.5 band score, remember, right? If you can cut down your time limit to 5 to 7 minutes, see, there are 1500 to 2500 words, maybe, right? So if you can just read it thoroughly, read it by grasping the information, it will enable you. You know that you will be able to locate the answer easily, right? Then only justify. You just have to justify your answers. Okay, so that is the strategy one. I was talking about the passage two. I was telling you that this strategy may not work for passage two, because passage two is already divided into sections. You have around 9 alphabets and divisions, and then so even the question list for heading is based on the divisions only. So it won't make sense reading the whole passage first and getting back to the questions. You just, when you find list of headings question, I will get back to this question when you will discuss format of question as well. But here, when you find list of heading questions or match the information from the paragraph or the passage, you directly jump onto such a question. Because what, you just have to, for example, for this particular question, you just have to read paragraph A and find the answer, or find the suitable heading for it, right? It won't be that difficult, right? So you just have to read this 6 to 7 8 lines, and then you have to locate, you have to find the headings. So this strategy may not work. This strategy, what will work for it is just go by the questions, jump onto the question straight away. This is the second strategy. You begin with the question, right? And right, when you solve these in this way, obviously you have to go to and fro a lot of many times and look for the information. So somehow, while solving list of heading questions or matching the information questions, it is believed that you will be getting the answers for the other questions easily. So that is why this second strategy. However, like for a passage as descriptive as this, strategy one would work, where you would read the whole passage and then jump onto the questions. Initially, it won't help you that much, but once you develop a habit to read the whole information and then solve the questions, you would find that you can do this test in 45 minutes also. So I'm not joking, it is possible. So overall, anyway, you have to save time. So even if you can do it in 53 minutes, 55 minutes, remember to cross check your answers, because you can't guarantee IELTS score. IELTS score, what you expect at times, you may not get that. Okay, so that is your fourth point. The fifth and the most important point is your formats of questions, or the types of questions.